Hey guys, it's Extreme Strategy here, and welcome to another spell guide, and this one is going to be about the Lore of Yin, which is one of the Grand Cathayan lores, and can be used by the Dragonblood Shungan Lords of Yin, like the one right in front of me. They have a series of spells. You have Storm of Shadows, then you have Ancestral Warriors, Cloak of Jet, Talons of Night, Blossom Wind, and Missile Mirror. Now, when we do get to Missile Mirror, the enemy army comp of 4 Nurglings will change. However, that will not happen for a little while. So we're just going to immediately move everyone forwards. It might help if I remember to group up my Dragon-Blooded Shan-Yon lore of our Lord with the Yin abilities. And just how far does the Storm of Shadows reach? It can hit these Nurglings all the way over here. Now, it reduces their speed by 45, so before I place this on these Nurglings, their current speed is 34. However, once it is placed, not only do they get this interesting little storm effect, their speed is reduced to 19, meaning that this would be excellent against slowing down Cav or any sort of fast units like a certain demon faction called Slaanesh would have in their army. But anyway, let's move on to number 2. Coming in at number 2, we are going to be using the Ancestral Warriors one. Now, currently, unfortunately, we do not have enough Winds of Magic, however, that will soon change. And the Ancestral Warriors one is the only summon that the Lore I should say, of Yin has. And at the moment of this recording, it is the only summon that Cathay has. This one summons a unit of Ancestral Warriors. So they're not these Celestial Dragon Guards, they're not any of the Jade Warriors. These ones are literally Ancestral Warriors, and basically this massive vortex appears behind, or up here, with this dragon circling around it. And it takes quite a little while to cast, but once it does, you get a group of Ancestral Warriors. Now, these Ancestral Warriors have no armor. They have a leadership of 112, which does not make them unbreakable, but it makes them pretty darn hard to break. They, however, are ethereal, meaning that these Ancestral Warriors will be very difficult to kill and very hard to bring down. So coming in for the third one, we are actually going to have a spell that affects archers. So we have some of these Jade Warrior crossbowmen with shields, and they have some very nice stats. They have 80 armor, 75 leadership, a speed of 30, a melee attack 16, but the main thing is their range and missile strength being 160 and 26 respectively. Now we have a spell here that is Cloak of Jet. This gives them the attributes Snipe, Stalk, and Unspottable. So we're going to place this spell onto our Jade Warrior crossbowmen, and even though they are still here, and their stats are the same, they are now unspottable to the enemy, meaning the enemy does not even realize that these crossbowmen are even here. They're completely oblivious to it. They have literally no idea that these guys are even in existence, because of the fact that they have Snipe, Stalk, and Unspottable. And this is a very lethal combination to have, and the spell lasts for quite a while before it wears off. Coming in as the fourth spell, we have one that was a massive trademark, you could say, during all of the all of the trailers that CA was releasing. And it is a spell called the Talons of Night. Now, some of you might remember that this was the one in the massive Grand Cathay versus Siege battle that Miao Ying uses, and it has a very powerful spell, just as it is shown in the trailer to be. So they were not incorrect when they showed this thing as being able to absolutely demolish entire batches of units. I'm just going to plop this in this group of Nurglings, and the spell does take a little while to go off. And unfortunately, it's going to hit some of my own units as well, but literally these massive claws just come up and start groping the air and just smashing around. And this is a bunch of dragon claws, and that did quite a bit of damage to not only the enemy units, but my own units. It might have even done more damage to my own units because of the fact that they were poisoned by the darn Nurglings. For the fifth spell that we will use, we are going to be using one called Blossom Wind. Now this is a wind spell. So what that means is it is going to travel in a forward direction. And why are people just randomly taking damage on this map? This makes no sense. I guess it's because there's going to be a massive Blossom of Wind. That was a terrible joke. So I'm going to set this up to go right across a group of Nurglings. It takes 3 seconds to go off, and it has a okay animation. Not the greatest, and it's also a bit inaccurate. However, it does bounce, so it's very similar to the Yin version of a burning head that's like the Lore of Fire has, where it goes out, does damage, and if it hits something, it turns right around and bounces right on back. So for the final trick for today, we have another one that was shown in the trailers, and is a very interesting and unique spell, as this is the first one to physically take an opponent's attacks from range and redeflect them at them, or redeflect the projectiles at them. This is, of course, the one and only Missile Mirror. Now, this Missile Mirror will only affect units that have a ammunition count. This will not protect me from spells and whatnot, and it looks like I'm going to have to drop this on myself, or on my lord. Oh yes, I have to drop it on the enemy, so that way when they release their projectiles, the enemy will, instead of releasing them at me, actually toss the projectile and have them launched at themselves. As just shown right here, where the projectiles went forwards, and then literally got shot right back into them, causing damage to their shields, and even doing a little bit of damage to themselves. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Go check out my Discord server link and my Facebook page. Links to both those in the description below. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.